Darnell McCants, retired Redskin receiver. Um, Question or things I always hear about athletes and camaraderie and teammates and all this other stuff. High school, it's uh, kind of a tight unit, at least from my perspective and opinion. College, a tighter unit, because now you're together, you know, a little understanding becoming a man. Pros, nowadays, it's a job. You don't have guys on the team for 10, 15, 12 years who've been around each other and fighting for each other and can say this is a brotherhood. This is my brother and I'll fight for him. The business made its own monster. They told me don't make friends with a person because you never know if they're going to be there the next day. This is what I was told. And I'm pretty sure other people was told it. And they told me don't get an apartment because you may not be, I mean, not get a house, not to buy a house. Because you may not be here. So, long story short, oh, well, their teammates, this, that, and the other, your teammates supposed to look out. No. You're talking about grown men now who have families, who have other mindsets, who are on a different page spiritually, financially, emotionally. You have all these reasons to kind of be separate. So, at 34, it's unlikely I'm going to be hanging with, I should say 34 and married, that I'm going to be hanging in the streets with a 21-year-old who's unmarried. Because if you want to stay married, you stay with married folk. And I'm not saying you can't go out, but I'm just trying to get you to understand that it's a difference. Guys who've been in the league 3 or 4 years, you know, everybody has a different lifestyle. Everybody comes from a different background. Like I say, from what I went through, I didn't see the white guys hanging in strip clubs with the black guys. I didn't see them at the club tricking off with the black guys. It might have been one or two, but that's it. And it wasn't as consistent. They may have came out, like I said, kind of like myself. I went out just to kind of hang out and be a part of the scene. Yeah, I was there, and so on and so forth. Have a little something to talk about. Because if not, I wouldn't have been there. My mindset was too different. And that probably separated me in a lot of situations. I've heard other coaches saying it just don't fit. Good kid, smart, it just doesn't fit. I've heard it. Never have, never will. I tried, it didn't work because that wasn't me. I never forget my 2 weeks in college. My coach told me to do, just hang with the receivers. Guess what the receivers did? Slept in, went to class, played video games. For 2 weeks, I almost went crazy because due to my mindset, and I say the artistic mindset, I have to be productive. And then even still being an artist in school, I couldn't sit and not draw or paint or do something because I had due dates. If I didn't have my 8 paintings, my 7 sculptures, and whatever else I had to do done, I failed. I don't know what it was in other majors, but for the most part, if I didn't have actual physical work done, I failed. So I couldn't sit and play video games. Only time video games was really cool for me was in high school. And that was because, guess what? Wasn't doing much. Didn't have a job. Wasn't going to class. Then football practice. Then track practice. Back to school. Back to class. So when do I have time to play video games? Say, I just never fit. It didn't fit for my lifestyle. It didn't fit for my mindset. Going out, hanging out in the club, and just tricking off 2 or 3 G's for females to get them drunk. Doesn't fit me. Didn't fit me. If I wanted a woman, I called them up. Didn't have to give them no drinks. It was just that easy, that simple. I don't know. And I don't know if that all works for everybody, but that's kind of how I saw it. So you gotta understand, not everybody just because they're on the same team is on the same accord. As far as life and lifestyle, it's kind of just like any other job. I don't see, you got a couple people that you probably hang with at your job, but at the most part, you don't hang with everybody. You go about your way, they go about theirs. Same situation. Things have changed. Lifestyle has changed. NFL has built their own monster. When you got a guy in there one week and out of there the next week, it's kind of hard to fight for a guy you just met yesterday and he's playing with you on Saturday. You don't know his ins and outs. You don't know if he's gonna fight for you. You'll play the game because that's your job. That's what they're paying you to do. But the whole camaraderie, the team, oh, your teammates should look out for you. Yeah, maybe. But even in college, I remember hearing that door, and I'm like, God, dog, you couldn't have told me, hey, Matt, get up, man. I only had one or two that was like, yo, hey, D, we gotta go, cuz. And how many, I think, what? At least 3 or 4 roommates. So, and like I said, my schedule was, depending on what coach, 4:30 a.m., class, practice, possibly track practice, back to class. So I wasn't going to sleep till 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning and then getting back up at 4. And I at least did that for 3 years. No time for video games, buddy. No time for real social life. Had to get the job done. Sacrifice for greatness. So that's just my opinion and things I've seen and went through. As far as why, the whole team stuff. Yeah, you got teammates. You look out for them, but the whole hanging with them and all that stuff, doesn't really exist. You might get a couple, especially guys who especially went to the same colleges or same school. Delaware State, well, we had 2. I was on this team for maybe a year and a half, or maybe a year, and that was it. And I don't even think we hung up. Shout out to Jamal Jackson, man.